This comes from a conversation I had with my brother-in-law last night, who said, I would love to do that, but I can't be on a vacation. That is not for me. And I realized that is a misconception. That was a misconception that I had. We're either on vacation or people think that we're retired. Uh, One of them thought that we hit the lottery, and others say that we just have tons of money. True, many people on the road are on vacation, which is really great because you walk around and you meet all these people that are just hanging out, having a good time, and then that's it. Others they are retired. They really are. Again, very friendly people, and I love it. Maybe some of them won the lottery. I don't know. Heck, maybe I even met a few that won the lottery. And there are others that do have lots of money. You can tell. You walk around the campsites and you see all the great toys that they have, and it's just awesome. But I'll tell you, none of these apply to us. None. Um, before, okay, so before we got started, in my head and in conversations with my friends, we really did think this was a vacation. A lot of people do think that this is a vacation, just like I did. Um, at least I thought to myself, wow, what a great life this must be to be able to, sit back, relax, spend time on an RV, spend time with family and friends, and just cross the country. That just sounds like so outrageously cool to me. It's so much fun. You may be thinking to yourself, as I did, I have a job, I got kids, I have a mortgage, just way too much going on in my life to do anything like that. Also, it's just too difficult. I mean, you don't know the first thing about RVs. You don't know the first thing about how to buy one or finance one, rent one. I mean, what the heck do you do? Where do you go? When do you go? How do you get there? There are just so many unknowns. And it can just be scary. Where are you going to stay? And who are you going to be next to? You don't know any of that about those people. When people buy a house these days or even rent a house, they kind of look around. But when you're going cross country, you could be in a whole new place week after week, or however you set up your life, month after month, day after day. So it can be scary. Another one is, what if I don't have cell phone signal? Or, the one that probably hit us harder than any of the other ones was, it's too expensive. How much does an RV cost? What's the difference between an A, B, C, D, E, L, B, whatever? Like, what are the differences between one RV and the other? And the cost associated to that kind of lifestyle? Well, I'll tell you, here's the reality. We are not on vacation. Okay? I have not seen a vacation since the day I got started on this trip. In fact, my career before I got this trip started was in pharmaceuticals. And every vacation that I took, I would still get calls from bosses and customers. And so really, I haven't seen a vacation day in like a decade. But this life really is phenomenal. It's so much fun. And you fit that fun in between your working hours. Like you work, you get your things done, and then you go have fun. And the scenery is constantly changing. So it is tons of fun. And I'll tell you, when we meet with friends on the road, they all think that we're on vacation. So they think to themselves, well, let me do a little mini vacation for myself. So they want to go to the zoo or these museums that cost a whole bunch of money, and the Kennedy Space Center or this or that. I mean, they just want to do all these great things. And I have to remind them, I'm like, I'm not on vacation. I may be able to squeeze in like one expensive dinner, maybe, depending on where we end up. But that's it. Like when I go out with my friends, I tell them, dude, maybe one thing, and that's it. The rest of the time, we're counting pennies, just like everybody else. And I have 4 kids, so this is not a vacation, and I cannot retire yet. My head is still around their education in the future. So I am not retired. And gee, I wish I would have won the lottery by now. But no, I haven't won the lottery, not by far. And I'll tell you, we could do a lot more if we did have tons of money. We really could. I mean, we could be seeing more museums. We could be going on boat rides. We could be zip lining more often. We could be flying. I mean, we could be doing so much more with money. But, the reality is that we can't. We can't. So what we do is we find things that are within our budget. Many times we spend nights at a campsite, state or national, that may be $20 a night. And sometimes we'll stay at places that are free. And the average for us really right now is like $26 a night. But I did that calculation before, so I'm comfortable with that. It may be more, maybe less for you. So, and we also look for things that we can do for free. Like we hike in different things that are free to the public. We look at waterfalls that are free. Sometimes we do indulge ourselves and we do something great, like we went to Niagara Falls and we went to the mist. We do little things here and there, but no, we're not constantly doing all these great things that cost a lot of money. We have to. We have to be careful with our money. But here's a huge difference. Here's just a gigantic difference that I noticed when we first got started. You think to yourself when you're working for somebody else or when you're living the life that doesn't belong to you, that you're just doing it because you fell into it, like me. Think, hey, if I can win the lottery, I would be gone. I would do something totally different. I would walk into my boss's office, and say, forget it, I'm out of here. I dreamt about those moments just like anybody else. I'm done with it, especially when someone gives you a hard time and you're just like, forget it. But here's the thing about my life now. Even if I win the lottery, I will still be doing exactly what I'm doing now. There is something magical and wonderful about the fact that I can say to myself, I'm truly enjoying the life that I have. Now, we tow our problems from park to park. They're still the responsibility. They're still there. But it's totally different. And I'm so enjoying this time with my family. I'm enjoying this time with my kids. I'm enjoying my time so much. And it just really does make a big difference. In other words, we are still trying to make a living. I still go to work. I still try to do something to make ends meet. But anyway, so I was thinking to myself, how did I get to this point? And I've been kind of knocking it in my brain so I can share it with you. And I really narrowed it down to 3 steps. Of course, there's a lot of things in between each step, but here are the 3 that made the biggest difference in my life. 1, obviously, I had to change my mentality. This is not a vacation. We're not walking around doing nothing every single day, just hanging out and having fun. Yeah, there's a lot of fun to be had, but this is not a vacation. If you think this is a vacation, think to yourself of all the different responsibilities that you still have to get done while you're on the road. Your kids are still going to need health care. You're still going to have to pay for everything that you're doing. People are going to get hurt. You're going to deal with that. Nobody's cooking for you. The rooms, you need to clean your own room. There's not a concierge somewhere. No, yes, you can't make it a vacation, but that wasn't our reality. So what I had to do was change my mentality and to now figure out a way, how do I take this mentality that this is a vacation and just turn it around and say, this is just going to be a new life. Before I had a house that was on the ground, I had to change all the things about that, my mentality, to think to myself, okay, my house is no longer on the ground, it's now on wheels. How do I make it happen? What do I need to change in my life to make that happen? Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2 is organize your finances. Organizing your finances is probably the most important. Once you realize that your mentality is going to start leading you towards a decision, that your mentality is now switching. You're switching gears on yourself, saying, this is no longer a vacation. This is just now, how do I make this new life work? And the biggest stumbling block, at least for me, was how do I make it financially viable? So I was driving from Washington down to Southeast Florida. My My job took me to South Carolina. I decided to take a few more extra days to drive to Washington. On our way back, my wife and I kept seeing all these great RVs. I mean, they look awesome. They look so much fun. And we saw all these different places that sell RVs. So we said to ourselves, why don't we pull over and see one on the inside? I mean, I've never seen one on the inside. So why not? While I was there, the salesperson, of course, took the opportunity to share with me how much they cost, how you can finance one, and this and that. And I saw the numbers and I said, wow, this is actually possible. So I took that number, took it home to my spreadsheet where I was organizing myself, and there it was. It was actually possible. So step 2, organize your finances. You'll start realizing, that maybe you can take this out of your life. You're going to have to put this in, take that out, change this around. And one of the biggest challenges, of course, is income. When you're organizing your finances, that is something that you would have to look at. There are a lot of people out there who are questioning, how do people on the road make money? That was one of my biggest questions too. And I'll tell you, it's a lot more seamless to do whatever it is that you're doing now, to just do it on the road. And because of COVID, there is a lot more opportunities right now, right? I mean, there's a lot of people who are working from their home. So can you do that? And for how long? These are all just kind of questions that if you start writing them down, you'll start getting some answers to them. So make that, organize yourself in that one. And what was monumental to me was making every decision from that point forward lead me towards my goal of going cross country. That's step 3. Step 3 is start making every small decision and every big decision lead you towards your goal. So my wife and I looked at our backyard, and our kids were playing in a play set. The play set started to kind of look a little run down, and we said to ourselves, let's buy a new play set. But does that really lead us to our goal? We also said, we want a boat. Why don't we buy a boat? Let's see if we can make that work. But was that going to lead us towards our goal? We wanted to go on a cruise. We were thinking, let's take a vacation. And for the longest time, we didn't take any time off of work whatsoever because we wanted to save all that money for this cross-country trip. So those small decisions was leading us towards going cross-country. The biggest one that happened to me was when I got laid off for the second time in my career. And I had made so many small decisions to get me to a point that I can say, let's go cross-country, that when I got laid off, it was easier. It wasn't easy, but it was easier to say no when another opportunity presented itself. I asked myself, do I want to go back to that life that I had before? Or do I want to be in this new lifestyle that I've been creating for myself and for my kids? And let me tell you, it was difficult. It was really hard to say no, but I'm so glad that I did because I am here now. Those 3 steps, okay, were the beginning of how we got to where we are today. Step 1, change your mindset. You'll start to see this whole thing in a whole new light and realize that it is possible if you do step 2, organize your finances. You start to see that you can actually afford it if you were to remove this here, put that there. How are you going to make income? How are you going to sustain yourself financially? All these things. I mean, if you organize it and just look, I'm not saying go on a cross-country trip today or even tomorrow. Just organize your finances to see if this is possible. And then step 3, making small decisions. Just start making small decisions to lead you towards your goal. I'll tell you what, when I got laid off, they took my car, right? I have been given a company car for more than a decade. And when they took it from me, the one that I was driving, which is awesome, I loved the car that I was driving, I could have easily just gone out and bought a new one, right? Because I had been saving and this and that. I mean, I could just easily do it. But I thought to myself, will a new car take us to our cross-country trip? And it was going to be a truck. If I buy a truck, that will take us closer to our cross-country trip. But what truck? And that's where everything starts to kind of fall together, okay? Let me ask you, This is not a easy decision. Okay, those three things put together are easy, but getting to the end is not. It is a progression. It is a progression. So if you're already on the road, why don't you share with us what you've done? If you're not on the road yet, ask us what's holding you back. We can work this together. We can help each other out. We can try to figure out how we can take whatever it is that's going on in your life and we can learn from it, or we can share it with you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate your help with that one. Like and subscribe and put on the notifications. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck. I hope to see you on the road.